Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader and in this video we are taking a look at SMCI stock and is this thing a buy here where we are or are we going to fall more to the downside on SMCI? Let's take a look at everything on SMCI through the lens of technicals and let's identify what is this stock right now even worth for our time. Should we even spend time trading this thing? Or should we stay away from it, right? So let's talk about all of that without wasting any time. I also want to let you know none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So SMCI, some of the drawings you are seeing already on my chart because this is, we took these plays on Patreon, right? Details for that in the description of this video if that interests you. So lately we have lost this trend line. But the question is that, and I'm on the daily interval, but the question is that just losing this trend line, is this problematic enough? Well, the answer to that is, let's go through the price action. So the weekly interval still shows that it has a likelihood of this a higher low pivot technically on the weekly interval. So you may make a you may think that this is where things are just fine on SMCI, right? This is just a higher low. However, not so quick. This was a good higher low until this previous week of the 2nd of June, okay? The problem is that thereafter, right, this particularly last week, so until 9th of June, technically the week starting 2nd of June, it was fine as a higher low pivot, and that's when we were still holding on that higher the on the daily interval as well in a uptrend. The problem with, even though we do have a higher low, but the problem with this last particular week is that, let's get to the daily interval. The problem is that on the daily interval we are no longer in a proper uptrend. We are cooling off, we are weakening on SMCI here. Okay, this is where we have lost the structure. It's very apparent actually on the hourly interval. So all good, holding the trend line, going up slowly and slowly, but this is where first break happened and thereafter it's done, right? So we have lost the structure there on the lower time frame, and thus we are intraday multi-day in the downtrend. You can already see that the structure is bearish across many intervals. 4 hours interval is technically in a pullback, but if lower time frames have already become bearish, that overall pullback that is happening, that is so deep pullback that you don't want to hold through that position. First of all, once we lost the multi-day structure, at least an hour, that is over here. Again, all the part of my tools, if you are interested in my tools, check out the details in the description of this video as well. And we lost the areas we couldn't hold above the significant levels after regaining those, and thus we have lost the structure on SMCI. So in summary, no, it's not in an uptrend. Even though weekly interval might look like, oh, we are still just fine, but we have already started the weakness on the multi-day front. So at this point, can it come back? Well, everything is possible in the stock market, but it's all about staying with the structure and accordingly sizing in and out the position. So the question is, where can things be fine again on SMCI for back again to the upside, if that's a possibility? We will have to, for that, get above $42.63 area. Intraday at least. We'll have to close hourly interval at least above this zone of 42 area. Okay. If SMCI can do that, well, this thing can start to come back around again. Otherwise, no, it remains in the near-term downtrend intraday multi-day. Until where has it has a room to come all the way down to. It has a room all the way come down to 37 and 80 cents. It doesn't mean it's a buy there. It doesn't mean that, but it has a near-term room to come down all the way to 37.80 area. It may not look too much, like it's like, oh, just $41.37. Well, it's not a big mover either right now. So it's still a move on SMCI. Now, definitely, as I said, even if it comes down there, it's not that it's a buy. We have to see the structure, if it holds there, and the lower time frame, how things are looking like. If things will build up, I'll talk with the members on my Patreon. Right now, that was the play. That was the moves back then. Now it's fizzling out. Already told the members there's no point in holding through these positions through the weakness, and you should have already sized down the positions. We had good extensions. We got all these moves as well when I talked to the members. Everything. Now, what else is left on SMCI? There's nothing else, guys. Okay, that's pretty much what it is. Okay, this is struggling, and this is still being it's struggling, and yeah, it's the momentum is escaping out. When we have formed those pivots, especially on the weekly interval, we want to hold through those and see a continuation to an uptrend. Right, we were seeing that. Yes, it was extended, so it came back down. That was fun. I also gave it to the members. You can see back then when we were in the downtrending, already told the members right over here, okay, it's going to cool off down to the blue box. We got those moves as well, stabilized here, time to get back in again, right, once we start to regain the structure. And but this is where it is out again, right? So there is no point. It has a room to come down. And yeah, right now, I would stay away from SMCI unless structure changes, as what I explained. Yeah, for what it requires it to change, it has to get above $42 without breaking further below. Otherwise, no, we are just in the downtrend. And if we don't see any stabilization and everything, we have a room to come down to 37.80 cents, so almost 37 to $38 area on SMCI. So yeah, this is a laggard, and at this point, and so it's just not even just a normal pullback unless it turns. Or as I said, anything is possible. It's all about, can we regain that level? If we do it, things may turn around. Yeah, otherwise no. Right now there is a lot of weakness, so don't rely on just that weekly interval. I know many of you trade with the, on especially swing with the weekly, but it's important to understand different time frames. Weekly interval is not sufficient in itself, okay? Because as I showed you, yes, there is a strong higher low building up there, or still there, but it's already weakening from the lower time frame. So there's signs already that we may not hold through unless we change back again the structure. But you don't want to hold through the uncertainty and the weakness, right? So anyways, that's all I had for you guys in this video, and I'll see you in the next videos. Okay, and if you need access to my tools, also there's a 45% discount ongoing if you happen to join the annual membership. That's for the tools down there. These are the tools you'll get access to. All right, see you in the next videos, guys. Take care. Bye.